Controlled by nobles called patricians, but the poorer citizens and workers were called plebeians who chose the citizens' assembly. My name's on the calendar. My name's on the calendar. No, for real, look at August. My name's on the calendar. We got concrete to build arch bridges. We got bats where you read and talk business. Build a coliseum. Fill the coliseum. Get some gladiators.
And we are live. Salvete omnes, salvete amici. Welcome to the stream this evening. It's going to be another exciting, fun-filled session. I can hear the senators in the background already, jibber-jabbering away. What we're watching this evening is the second assembly of the Republic of Rome board game produced by Valley Games in 2009. We have 5 players taking on the roles of the leader of a faction during the Roman Republic. It happens to be the early Roman Republic at the moment. Last Monday we held our first assembly. It was a fairly calm, relaxed assembly, I'd say. We didn't see any prosecutions, we didn't see anything outrageous. We did see the defeat of the what was the second Aurelian war card, which proved to be a rather Pyrrhic victory. Lots of casualties on the Roman side. But everybody is ready and excited for another session this evening. So without further delay, we're now going to transition to the Roll20 virtual tabletop environment in which we host the session. So we'll do that right now. Don't go away. Okay, and we are live. Hopefully all of our senators can be heard by our streamers this evening. A shout out to Synergy Industries who's tuned in. Hello, welcome to you. For those that haven't joined us before and this is your first assembly watching us, but behold our curators, our faction leaders here. We have Sempronius, Postumus, Cornelius Calum, Marcus Indominus and Marcus Cornelius Dolabella, each controlling one of the factions in this play area that you see in the virtual tabletop. This has been specially put together, crafted from the resources of the physical board game. And we are now ready to commence the second year of our fine republic. So I'm just checking all of our audio levels now. I think we're all pretty good across the board. Desktop audio is coming through. My headset audio is coming through. Just want to make sure I don't deafen people too much with my boisterous volume. But on that, I think we're ready to go. So if you're all referring to your cheat sheets, and I'll bring it up here for all the viewers at home, we're going to go through the mortality phase. Off the start, for the first one we want to look at is imminent wars. We know at the moment we have no imminent wars. You happen to clear the active war from the last year, which is great, but we'll see what happens in this round. Now what we need to do is go through the aging senators process. Fairly basic. What you need to do is everybody using those mortality chits, needs to up the number on each of their senators, and if it doesn't have one, you need to add a number 1 mortality chit. So let's gracefully age all of our senators now, and if you like, to help speed things up, for Cornelius Dolabella, I'll pass you your chits if you like, if you tell me the new numbers that you need.
There's the choruses. Yeah, well, Achilles, I think that's a 4.
If you zoom in, you'll get a clearer view. They get better if you zoom in a bit.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag. 4. He's a 4, so I'll need a 5 for him.
You'll need a 5, yep.
And for Julius, he's a 3. Oh, that's okay. I can take the 3 off him and use the 4 that's on Watsy.
Good, yep.
Okay.
Well, let me bring that 5 up to you while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, the 5's up in your zone now.
Sorry, guys. I know I'm very cumbersome with this.
That's all right.
Okay, so rightio. So Julius has got the right one now. He's got 4.
Good. I'll get you a 1 for Achilles. Does he need one? Oh, no, you want the 4 for him?
Yeah. That was the 5 for Achilles. Valerius, he needs a 3.
What about the 3 you've just taken there? How about that one?
But there, right. Yeah, that's good. Now I just got to put the 5 on the right bloke.
Good. So remember, as we age, the moment that we have a senator reach the age of 7, remember they're referred to as an elder statesman or an elder senator.
Oh, hang on, Warwick, it wants to go underneath again.
Does it? All right, let's fix that up.
Does.
I'll bring up my chat as well. Okay, so let's bring some cards out in front. And tokens out in front, bring to front. Okay, that should be fixed for you there,
Okay,
Dolabella.
thank you. Yeah. Now, does anyone need that too?
Yes, I'm going to go across to the Optimates now.
I've got some bad news where I accidentally deleted 2 of my senators.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're dealing with drawings. So hopefully they should be at the bottom of our deck here. So let's go hunting. Can you remember what the name of your senators are?
No, one was.
Here they are. And you're missing a concession as well, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so there should be 1, 2, and that should be the concession. There you go. Yep, so if you are drawing, I'm happy for you to draw. Just be very careful because the delete is deletes with extreme prejudice. So I think I'll need to put those cards back for you. Bear with me. I'll put them in the right order for you. There you go. You should be good to go again now. There we go. So we're talking about elder statesmen. So they can no longer leave Rome. They can no longer be sent as governors. They can no longer be sent away for war. They can still, in fact, be elected into any position. That is definitely not a prohibiting factor. Just, for example, if war is involved, it has to go to the next highest ranking available officer. It also comes to the point where you have to start rolling for natural death. And that happens on essentially a roll of a 6. And for each year after 7, that increases by 1 on the roll, so it gets more and more likely that your senator will pass. Why is this important to note? If a senator passes in office from natural causes, you do not get to keep any acquired influence that senator had acquired during his lifetime. The only way to keep and accumulate that influence for your final score tally is to retire him. So it's a bit of a gamble, if you like, as to do you retire early or do you get a little bit more and risk the natural death. So there's a decision you guys will eventually have to make once you start to get some elder senators.
So when you retire him, you can pick a new one.
So I think there is an opportunity for you to do it's like a once-off persuasion check just to keep that family's card within your faction. If not, it'll go to the forum and open up like other senator cards that are encountered.
So what's considered old in the game?
7 and up.
Okay, well, yeah. Quillis is getting close. He's 5.
They're like dogs.
Right. Yeah, dog years, that's right. Okay, is there anybody that hasn't completed their aging process yet? So I'm just doing a quick look around the board now. Tarquinius faction looks good. The Civibus da Panem faction looks good. Hand of Gods looks good. We can see, yep, Fabius Maximus has his now in the Optimates, excellent. And all that's looking good. Okay, and for the senators as well, you would have noticed down the bottom left of the playing area, I've added the influence track now. So we've obviously got the vote track up the top centre, and considering we've got this spare area down here, I thought I might pop in the influence track. And that shows some very interesting results right now, which...
Oh, good, I'm not imagining things. I didn't remember seeing that last time.
Yeah, correct, yeah. Yeah, very, very observant. Okay. Great, so that's the end of the mortality phase. Let's move on to the revenue phase. Before we proceed, I just want to double check. Right now, I am only banking for one senator or one faction right now. Everybody else has decided to either not deposit in their faction treasury or just keep it under their chest, which is perfectly fine. And I just want to check that is in fact the case. There should be only one faction that has banked with me so far. Yeah, in fact, yeah, I just got a message from someone down there before. You would have banked it, so it's hidden. If you'd like to know your tally, you can send me a whisper, and I can let you know how much you have banked. And subsequently, if you want to withdraw from that, you can do so also. Just send me a whisper, and we can exchange those coins. Okay. So let's go through the revenue phase. A quick reminder: this is a self count. Remember, it's 3 talents for your faction leader. 1 talent for every other senator in your faction, and then you've got to consider concessions. Okay, so if you've got a concession on the field in play, you must take that concession, except if it's something particular like shipbuilding, which doesn't count. But any tax farmer, you'll add that to your tally. Land commissioner, you'll add that to your tally. Egyptian grade.
Sorry, what was that again? 3 talents for...
3 talents for your faction leader, 1 talent for every other senator, and then you're going to add concessions to that as well, and knights, which also give you 1 additional talent as well. Okay.
So, and 1 for each senator, plus what was...
3 for faction leader.
Yeah.
1 for each senator. 1 for each knight.
Oh, right, I know.
And then however many your concession cards tell you to have as well, if you've got any concession cards.
I think I get some extra for being Pontifex Maximus as well.
You do. If you want to go ahead and roll your dice for me.
Blessed is Jupiter.
You find it. Do your 1d. I think it's a 1d6 roll, which you have.
Oh, nice.
Wow! So add additional 6 to his 1 talent that he would normally get as a senator as well. So he actually gets 7 as an independent senator. Okay.
Oh, I think we need to have someone investigate it.
It's pure luck. Pure luck.
So I'm ready to receive totals. Let's start with you, Sempronius. What can I get you this round?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11.
Okay, 5, 6, 7,
So I have
8,
to show the
9, 10.
Is that correct?
Sorry, what was that?
I have to show the corrupt bit for the farm attacks. And
Yep, that's helpful if you show the corrupt portion on your concessions as you draw those. Okay, your money is in your withdrawal space now there, Sempronius. Posthumous, how much can I get you?
Please 8. Just let me double check.
Okay.
5, 6. Yep, 8, please.
Any particular denomination?
No, however's fine by me.
So you want 8. So I'll give you in ones. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're the hand faction. Let's drop those. They're in your tray, ready for you to take. Let's go on to Cornelius Calum. How much can I get you? Optimates.
Oh, sorry. I'm 7 plus 6, so 13.
13, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Man, we're rolling in the money now. And let's drop that in your zone. Okay, very good. Let's go across to Indominus Anthonius. What can I get you?
12, thanks.
Wow. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. And that's now in your withdrawal tray. And finally, let's finish off with Cornelius Dolabella. How much can I get you?
Geez, I'm the poor cousin in this lot. I only get 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'll bring yours to you there, Cornelius. Bear with me.
Thank you.
Just to make things easy, zoom out. Okay.
Sorry, something is in my... it's a tray down the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, your money is put in the withdrawal zone down the bottom centre. That's correct, except for Cornelius Dolabella. It's now in his zone. Okay, now that we've done the, the income component, you can now do your redistribution, ladies and gentlemen. Redistribution means you can move it between any of your senators. You can move it between your faction treasury to and from. So if you're looking to put it in your faction treasury, just stick it under your chest, or you can bank it with me for that extra security. If you'd like to withdraw from your faction treasury, send me a whisper and then I'll throw that money out into the withdrawal zone for you, or subsequently use your chest to drag it down into that banking zone, and I'll bank anything under the chest against your faction name, should you wish to have that extra security. So move that money around as you wish now on any senator. Doesn't matter who earned it now, feel free to move it around. And it is also at this point as well, if you had made some sort of agreement, be it public or private, this is the time that you would move money between factions. So if you were paying somebody else, this is only the time that you can move money between factions now. Okay.
I'm taking donations, guys.
I'll give you just a little bit longer to do that. Make sure all of your money is either on or near a senator card or in your faction treasury. Don't leave anything out in the open. Yep, I'm happy with what Tarquinius is doing. That's fine. That's obvious who owns that money. Same with Civibus da Panem. That's fine. I can see who has that money. That's fine. Good work with the Hand of God. That looks okay. Optimates are still deciding what they're doing.
I've got one talent. Sorry, I've got one talent I want to put on top of Fabius, but it's going behind.
It's going behind, so let's fix that for you. I'm just zooming in now. Send to back. Send to try that now.
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect.
I can't remember exactly where it was in the sequence of events, but there's some part in the sequence of events. Oh my goodness.
That's very loud.
There's some part in the sequence of events where you can't spend money unless it's on a senator, wasn't there?
That is correct. Now, if you're curious as to what your limitations are, one of the great little helpful guides is next to right down the bottom left of the centre section, next to the grey numbers. Actually, you'll see a little wooden panel that has some white writing on it, and it talks about faction treasury and single personal treasury, and that tells you what you use each of the treasuries for. So, for example, single treasuries are used for bidding, offensive persuasions, knights attractions.
Sorry, where's this?
Bottom left of the centre of the playing area, to the right of the influence track, and to the left.
Hang on, I'm sitting over the bank at the Republic of Rome Bank at the moment. So
just go up just a little bit. It's right next to the state revenue card and the land bills. It's underneath the land bill token.
Very small text.
Yeah, very small text. You will have to zoom in.
I've got the state revenue card.
The state. Look to the right, the little wooden panel with white writing on it.
Oh, okay. Oh
yeah,
my God.
That should answer your question. Yeah, zoom in. That'll get you.
Thank you.
Yep, that should help you out. Okay. And that's good. I'm pleased you're consulting that, because that can often help you decide where you may want to shift your money and your strategy for the coming year or years. So I'll give you a little bit longer. There's no rush.
Okay. Rightio, thank you.
All right, let's. The optimates are still deciding. That's fine.
Oh. I'm done.
You are indeed. Yes, correct. Very good. We're all cashed up now. Look at this.
Oh,
Okay, and good. So I'll just check. So for the Hand of God, you did not collect your shipbuilding one, did you?
me, no, because it's only when it gets built.
That's correct. That's right. So I've just hid your corrupt portion of that, as you have not got any yet. But I'm pleased to see everyone else has moved there and shown visible the corrupt bars. It's very good. I'm pleased everyone's doing that and remembering that. And remember, if you want to change denominations and break down denominations into smaller amounts, let me know. We can do that as well. Okay. I've got plenty. I have the authority to print money. Which is called Control C, Control V.
Sounds like the Weimar Republic.
and the US Federal Reserve. I still see you've got 5 talents left over there at the Reapers Party.
I'm supposed to put that back in the chest.
Wherever you like. That's fine. Just you can cover it with your chest if you like.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, everyone's sorted now. Okay, let's move on. This is a job for our Quaestor now. Our Quaestor needs to add 100 talents to the state revenue, if you'd like to do that now.
Yep.
And we have, because we've got no provinces to worry about at the moment, so that's easy. And while the Quaestor is working on adding 100 talents to the state treasury, does anybody have the capacity and the willingness to make contributions to the state treasury? Start with the highest ranking available officer, which is the Rome Consul, which is currently Terentius in the Hand of God faction. Let's start with you. Do you want to make any, donations to the state treasury?
Can it come off? Does it have to come off my senator?
It has to come off a single treasury, single personal treasury, and the minimum amount essentially for it to be worth it for you. You can donate any amount, but you don't get anything until you start donating at least 10 talents.
Oh, I'll skip it then.
Yep, that's fine. Let's move on to the Optimates. Are you wishing to make any donations?
Small town up north.
No, we will pray for the success of the Senate.
Good. Well done. Excellent. Across to the Reapers Party, are you wishing to make any state donations?
No, I'm too poor.
Okay.
That'd be great.
The Tarquinius faction, are you making any state donations? Indominus, are you making any state donations?
No, it's already been invested elsewhere.
Yep, not a problem. And Civibus da Panem, are you making any state donations?
No.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do some debits now. So first of all, it is -2 talents for every legion and fleet that we currently have in active service, and right now we only have 2. So we're currently only debiting -4 talents so far. And then it's -20 for every active or unprosecuted war. But you don't have any of those because you've managed to deal with that, and you don't have any land bills. So as from what I'm reading here, you only have a debt of -4 talents.
Yes.
That's not bad. So I guess the Quaestor can update that now.
Done. Yep.
Perfect. Look at that. He's very efficient. Very efficient. And that concludes the revenue phase, unless somebody wants to debate that. But I think we're doing all right.
I'd just like to say that we're 18 denarii up from last year, same time.
Oh,
Well, yeah, yes, indeed. That's good. Let's spend it wisely. Now, what we need to do now is we now need to clear the events through the passage of time. So you'll be pleased to hear that your manpower shortage no longer exists. Your manpower shortage is now gone. Which is good, and now we can move into the initiative phase, knowing we have to do 6 of those, starting with the highest ranking available officer, and it always begins with a 2d6. So let's go over to the Hand of God faction. Terentius, Rome Consul, please go ahead and roll your 2d6. You get 5. So with 5, that is not 7, so there is no event card drawn, and therefore you get to draw a single card from the top of the early Republic deck, please, and then that'll go into your hand. And then we'll now see, is it a black text or red text card?
black text, I believe.
Black text. Let's drop it onto the forum if it is indeed black text.
Put it there.
And flip it over. It is okay. So what we have here is a Hamilcar from the Punic Wars. Now he is an enemy hero, and right now he is associated with the Punic Wars, and what that means is, guess what? We've got a first Punic War down here, and things are happening, right? So what we need to check now is whether a hero makes a war immediately active, or if it becomes an imminent war. And this is we're just going to double check this component now. I think I had a summary sheet from one of our previous sessions, which we should be able to highlight this quite quickly. Let's see if it's on my sheet here still. Wars, matching wars, revolts. Let's have a look.
Were the Punic Wars the ones with Carthage?
Yeah, correct, exactly. Yep, the Punics.
Didn't end well for them.
No, it didn't. So it's not on my summary sheet. So let's go over to our rules. Actually, I wonder if I can... I'm going to bring up a Control F, and people at home can be able to see this as well. We're going to go Control F. We're going to go Leader card. Here we go. Now, as you can see, I think he has a +3 on his card. Is that correct?
Yeah, +3.
So that means he's going to add +3 strength to the war. Okay. So that's not necessarily a nice thing to have. It makes things a little bit more punishing. So for you guys as well, you guys might be able to check perhaps quicker than I am. We're needing to work out whether the Punic War will become an imminent or an active war. I think it's active. I just want to check this now. So I'm just skipping through now, having a look. Okay.
Leaders.
Until activated by their leader, so rule 17341. So I'm just going to double check at that 341 rule as well. 3-5, 3-4, 3-3-2, and yep, and 3-4-1. If while an inactive or active war is in play, a matching leader is drawn. Yep, the leader is immediately placed and is considered active. Okay, so yep, that war is now active, ladies and gentlemen. So let's drag that up to the active wars box. Drop Hamilcar in there as well. So you're now looking at a strength of land strength of 13, and I believe it ups everything across the board. Let's just double check that fact as well. I wouldn't want to unfairly disadvantage you all. Both the
What's the +3 add to? Is that the
we're checking that now. I'm fairly certain it's to everything. While a leader's active and matched, the land and fleet strength, not the fleet support, just the land and fleet strength is added based on the number on his card. Okay, so therefore he's going to have a land strength of 13 and a naval strength of 13. So then you've got danger numbers of 8, 13, 12, 11, and 14, which are numbers you don't want to roll. So this is a pretty serious war. Pretty serious war indeed. It is worth a little bit, 35 talents when you get through it. And it also creates the provinces of Sicilia and Corsica at Sardinia. So worthwhile pursuing, for sure. Okay, so excuse me. Let's continue with the rest of that initiative. So from here, you have the option to make a persuasion attempt, should you wish to do so.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Look,
Be it from a line to a faction or unaligned, for example, Plateus in the center of the forum.
I think.
As an example.
As an example.
What do I have to do to get in? Plateus? Just roll? Is that it?
In a sense of speaking, so I'm going to assume, so you're wishing to proceed with the persuasion attempt?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so I'm going to pull up the notes again, and for all those playing at home, we're going to have a look at the equation, and we'll calculate our numbers. So we need to work out our base value, and our. So first of all, who is your persuading senator?
I guess I will go with Terentius.
Terentius, okay. And tell me, what is his oratory rating?
1.
His oratory is 1, plus his influence, which is what?
6.
Which is 6 for a total of 7 currently. And do you wish to add any bribes to sweeten the pot right now?
He doesn't have any money on him.
Doesn't have any money on him. That's good. Good observation. So we're currently looking at a base is equal to 7. So therefore, the target centre is Plateus over there. He currently has a loyalty rating of 6 over here, plus any talents on his card which he doesn't have, and he's not aligned. And then we could open up to counter bribes in just a moment, but right now we're looking at a base number of 1, and you are required to roll a 2d6, and considering that you can't roll a 1 or less on a 2d6, therefore it is essentially a fail, and we may not proceed any further.
Okay.
So that was that was tough. So again, we noticed that influence drives a great deal, and bribes. So if you're cashed up and influenced up, that makes things fairly easy to influence somebody. Okay, moving on. Would you like to roll for a knight?
Yes, I would like to pay my 5 talents.
Okay, from which senator?
Sulpicius,
Yes.
however you pronounce it.
Okay, so for a guaranteed knight then, is that essentially what we're doing? All right, so go ahead and pick yourself up a knight, and I'll take that cash from your hands there.
I'll put him in a pile there for you.
Very good. I'll take that away.
And the knight.
All right, excellent. And you get a number 1. Perfect. You also get the choice to move your faction leader at this stage, if you like.
Faction leader. Yes, I might swap him to Sulpicius now.
Okay, certainly, not a problem at all. So, your new faction leader, and would you, from a single senator, like to sponsor any games?
No.
Okay, great. All right, that's that initiative done. Let's rotate around to the Optimates now. Optimates, please, let's kick it off with a 2d6 roll.
All right.
At this stage, I think you'd want an event. You roll a 5. Go ahead and draw the top single card from the Early Republic deck, and let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
Is it black text or red text?
Sorry, 1 second. It always puts it in my thing on the top. But it is a black text.
All right, go ahead and throw that in the sandpit in the centre forum for us.
Okay.
And flip her over. It is
Right. I missed.
yeah, okay, try again.
A senator.
Very good. Aurelius has joined us. Brilliant. And good, he's family 19. Now, just as we start to continue to draw family senator cards like this, if you already hold the statesman of the associate number, this family card will automatically come under your famous statesman, but I don't think we've hit that yet. So I'm looking at Cato the Elder, who's 22. Who else has got one down here? We've got Fabius Maximus, who is 2, so that's fine. We're not matching it there. So we've got 2 senators up for influencing a little bit later. Okay, moving on. Your next question is, would you like to make a persuasion attempt?
Yes. I hear there's a new chap called Aurelius.
Yep, you're going to target Aurelius, okay. And who is your persuading senator?
So was it oratory or influence again?
It is influence and oratory are both drivers.
Then Fulvius, I think, is my number 1 guy.
All right, so let's go through the equations. Just let me know the oratory of Fulvius, is it?
Yep, 2.
It's a 2 plus his influence.
14.
It's 14 for a total of 16 right now. Are you looking to place any bribes at this point?
No, I'll rely on my raw charisma.
Okay, there'll be some opportunity. Okay, let's talk about the target senator. What's his loyalty rating?
8.
Is 8, and therefore we currently have a base number of 8, which is quite achievable at this point in time. But what we do need to do is we need to give an opportunity for everybody to counter bribe. So then moving clockwise around the table. Anybody who wishes to spend money from their faction treasury may now counter bribe to make this harder. So for every talent, that decreases the base number, and therefore makes it even harder for him because he has to roll less than the base number on a 2d6 in order to achieve the persuasion attempt.
And what's the base number at the moment?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
What's the number he's got to roll at the moment?
So he's got to roll less than 8. Less than or equal to 8. That's an additional one there. Less than or equal to 8 for this to be successful. So let's go around. You are currently the Optimist, so round to the Reaper's Party. From the Reaper's Party, do you wish to spend any money from your faction treasury to counter bribe in this persuasion attempt? Noting any bribes placed on the target senator's card stay with him and therefore make it more difficult for him to be persuaded in the future.
No, thank you. I'm too poor.
Moving on. Tarquinius, any counter bribes from you?
How many bribes per vote, per loyalty?
So you reduce the base number that he has to roll against by 1 for each talent that you spend from the faction treasury.
But there's no other attempt on him this turn, is it? You've got to wait till the next turn in order to do it.
I believe that is the case. Thinking? Any decision, Indominus?
Sorry. I thought you had to somewhere else. Yes, I will put in 2.
Okay, base number. If you want to throw 2 out onto Aurelius's card, please. Do you need me to change up some currency for you?
Yeah, I need to change 5 to
2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to drag these up to the center. Hang on, bear with me. Let's get over the lag. All right, they're in the center if you want to deal with that now, and I'll take your 5 away. Where's that? In your play area?
Yep.
I see it. I've got it. I've got it now. All right.
Okay, it's gone underneath.
Noted. Let's fix that. Bring him to the back. There we go. Okay, so our base number goes from 8 down to 6. Okay, makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, let's go across to Sempronius. Any money from your faction treasury to make this harder to persuade?
Yep. I'll put 2 on as well.
Whew, rightio. Base number comes down to 4, and that's 2 more onto Aurelius's card. Hand of God faction. Any counterbribes from you and your faction treasury?
No, I'm not that mean.
None from you. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the Optimates. Go ahead and roll your 2d6. You need to get 4 or less.
Oh, this feels achievable. Okay, I'm praying to the gods.
I've seen worse rolls. 6. Oh, close but no cigar. Okay, and those bribes will now stay with Aurelius, and that will essentially make it slightly more difficult to persuade him in the future. So he will remain there for the moment. Okay, let's finish off your turn. Would you like to roll for a knight?
Yes, please.
Okay, and are you wanting to spend any money from a particular senator?
Yes.
Which senator is rolling for the knight?
So, I would like Fulvius to roll for the knight, and I'd like to spend 5 talents, please.
Okay, guaranteed. All right, I can see the 5 talents on his card. I'll take that from you now. Go ahead and pick yourself up a number 2 and update your knight token there and put the 1 back.
And that's another faction vote as well?
Correct, that is correct.
Yeah, lots of dragging. Cool.
All right, you're doing that. Perfect. Any change in your faction leader?
No, happy with my faction leader.
Okay, and are you looking to sponsor any games this round from a single personal treasury?
No.
Okay, all right, let's move across to the Reapers Party. Reapers Party, go ahead and roll your 2d6 to begin your initiative.
Okay.
Wrong die. Try that again. It's 2d6.
Hang on. I thought I'd...
Yeah, it's a d20.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd...
You're too used to throwing d20s. Oh, look at that. We have our first 7. Okay, so now what we need to do from here is we need to roll for an event. Okay, it's a little bit different. So we do not draw. We do not draw from the Early Republic card deck this time. So as you'll see here, if it is a 7, we'll now have Cornelius Dolabella roll a 3d6, please. And then we're going to determine what event has now occurred. So he's rolled, in fact, a 7, and we're now going to consult the random events table from the Early Republic, and in this case here, 7, which he has rolled, is refuge. And now what we're going to do...
What is it?
It's refuge.
Oh.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to the events card deck here, and I'm going to pull that out for us. Of course, anybody can do this. There's no limitations on the events card deck. So I'm going to expand my view here. What's going to make this difficult is because it is so small. So let's have a look here. I'll tell you what, if somebody else would also join me and look for the refuge card, noting that you need to get the light blue side, okay, of the refuge, okay? Let's have a look. Let's see where it is. I found it. Never mind. Stand down. I'm going to drag it out now. That was nice and quick. Second card. Okay, so let's... I've now drawn the refuge event card into the Centre Forum, if you'd all like to read along with me. And it says the following, okay? The next enemy leader killed by a victory will instead be given refuge by the next war card drawn. That leader may remain in play and aid that war, but is discarded when that war is defeated. And this will remain in play until used. So, not a particularly nice...
I don't like that one.
No, it's not the greatest. I've seen much worse events, but it's not helping. All right, so now you get to finish off your initiative there, Cornelius Dolabella. Would you like a senator to roll for a knight? Oh, sorry, but let's go back one step. Would you like to do a persuasion attempt?
On somebody else's senator or something?
Correct, yes. Either an aligned senator from a faction or an unaligned senator in the centre of the forum.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't have the money.
Sure, not a problem. Would you like to roll for a knight now?
Okay. So which dice is that?
It's a 1d6. You need to let me know which senator is going to roll for the knight and whether you'd like to spend any money to increase your odds.
So does influence or whatever help him with the roll?
Not at all, only money.
Oh, only money. All right. Well, Julius will roll.
Okay.
He's got 3 talents.
Julius is going to roll. Now, how much money would you like to spend to increase your odds? You need to tell me up front.
3 talents.
You're going to spend 3, so you need to roll a 6, a 5, a 4, or a 3 to get a knight. Let's see how you do on a 1d6. You roll a 2 and you fail. So thanks for your donation to the bank of Ingeniarius.
I do have a quick question about Julius.
Sure, fire away.
Something I think we may have missed, because now that he's got a legion loyal to him,
yes,
I think that ups his influence. Well, it says it does in the rules.
Only if you disband him.
Oh, only if you disband.
Yeah, so if you continue to read around that section, so if you decide to disband that legion, you can gain influence and oratory, and you have to do that at a particular point. And I think.
Oh, but only if you disband the legion.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I missed that bit. Okay, fine.
No, that's okay. But no, that's great question. A great question to be asking. Okay, would you like to change your faction leader at this time?
Oh no, I think I'll leave old Valerius in charge.
Certainly, and I think the question is mute, but I'll ask it anyway. Would you like to sponsor any games at this point?
No.
Very good.
I wish I could, but I can't.
Let's move on to Tarquinius. Go ahead and roll your 2d6. Begin your initiative. Indominus. He's going to roll a 6. Very good. Go ahead and draw the top card from the Early Republic deck, and let us know if it's black text or red text.
Wrong turn. Black text.
Black text, please drop it in the sandpit in the center forum, and let's take a gander. Flip her over. Oh, it's gone disappearing. Oh, there it is. Okay, we now have Philip V of the Macedonian Wars. He's a relatively strong enemy leader, but as we know right now, we have no Macedonian wars on the field. So as such, he's going to end up down in the Curia, and there will be an opportunity to get rid of him a little bit later. So that's not a bad draw. Not a bad draw, provided you don't get any Macedonian wars. Let's continue on with the rest of your initiative. Would you like to make a persuasion attempt at this time?
No.
Would you like to roll for a knight?
Yes.
Which senator will be rolling for your knight?
Aurelius.
Aurelius will be rolling. ID number 9. Would you like to spend any monies to make that better?
I'm spending 3.
Spending 3. So you'll need a 6, a 5, a 4, or a 3 on a 1d6. Go ahead and give that a roll and see what you get. You rolled a 2. Unlucky. All right. Would you like to change faction leader at this time?
Yeah, I might make Carter the Elder my faction leader.
Yeah, certainly. Go ahead and move your faction leader token there. And I think the question is mute, but I'll ask anyway. Would you like to sponsor games at this point?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's move across to Sempronius and the giving out the bread faction. Go ahead and roll your 2d6, and let's see how you go.
Five.
I haven't seen any roll yet.
It's on my screen.
Oh, there we go. It was a little bit slow to update. Okay, cool. Yeah, 5. Go ahead and draw the top single card from the Early Republic deck, and let's check to see if it's black text or red text.
Oh, where the hell did it go?
Let's see. Philip will stay there.
No, I'm just reading underneath.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. I think it's still in your hand there, Sempronius, so you've still got 3 cards in your hand. Is it black text or red text? Sorry, is it?
Yeah.
It is black?
Moving in.
Okay. Drop it in the sandpit.
Jesus. We're not having good luck here.
There you go. Flip her over. It is the second the Second Macedonian War.
Can you stack this deck against it?
So what we're going to see at this point in time is we're going to throw this into the active wars box along with Philip V, and you now have your second active war on the books.
Sorry, how do you know it's active?
Because the enemy leader was present already.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So normally that Second Macedonian War would be an inactive war. It would sit down there in the inactive wars box because it does not have that shield armaments token on the card. But because that enemy leader is there, it immediately becomes active. Okay. Which is unfortunate, but not impossible to deal with, but depending on how the Senate makes their choices. Okay, so let's finish off your initiative there, Sempronius. Would you like to make a persuasion attempt this round?
No, I would not.
I'd like to roll for a knight.
Yes, I would.
Which senator?
With Flaminius.
Flaminius. Okay, Flaminius is going to make the roll. Is there any money that you'd like to spend to increase your odds?
Yeah, I'll spend 2 talents.
2 talents. So you'll need a 6, a 5, or a 4, and I'll pinch those 2 talents off you now. Go ahead and roll your 1d6, and let's see how that goes. You've rolled a 5. Congratulations. Go ahead and get yourself a knight. Well done. And hello to all of our viewers who are watching this evening. We've had 3, 4 people watching along, so that's great. Great to have you along. If you've got questions or comments, by all means, throw it into the chat. We'll wait for Sempronius to pull a knight up for Flaminius. Gets him an extra vote and more currency during the revenue phase. While you're moving that knight around, any contemplations about moving a faction leader this round?
No, thank you.
And will you be planning to sponsor any games this round either?
No, can't afford it.
Can't afford it, okay. Very good. Now, I believe that concludes 5 of our initiatives. We now need to go ahead and bid for our 6th and final initiative. Again, we're going to start with the highest ranking available officer, which is... I'm just seeing some conversation down there at the moment. We now have to start some bidding. So, starting with the Rome Consul, would you like to make any bids for the 6th initiative?
No, thank you. I'm all right.
Moving on to the Optimates, and I believe this is going to come from a single personal treasury, if I recall correctly. Optimates, are you bidding on this initiative, starting at single 1 talent? Do I hear 1 talent?
Yes. Alias will bid 1.
Alias will bid 1. I'll pinch that from his card now. Okay, I've got a hold of that. Okay, let's move across to Reapers. Reapers, 2 talents or more, should you wish to have this initiative.
No, thanks.
No, moving on to Tarquinius and in Dominus's faction, 2 talents or more if you'd like this initiative.
Yes, thanks.
Which senator will be making that bid?
Aurelius.
All right, I'll pinch those talents from you now. Okay, across to Sempronius. Sempronius, it's 3 or more talents should you wish to have this this delight of the 6th initiative.
Sorry, what's
right.
the 6th initiative?
So we always have to complete 6 initiatives, irrespective of the number of players.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, like we did in the first year. So we're now just going through and bidding. So you need to spend 3 or more talents should you wish to have the honour of the 6th initiative.
No, I'll pass. Thank
Passing. Okay, that concludes. So therefore, we're going to give the honour of the 6th initiative to Indominus. Go ahead and roll your 2d6. You rolled a 7. We're going to have an event. Go ahead and roll the 3d6 and let's see what we get this time. Sometimes events can be good, can hold up the flow from wars. You have an 11 this time, so let's move in on the events table. 11 here is a storm at sea. All right, so let's go into our events deck, and we're going to choose the storm at sea one. It's the light blue one, probably with a ship icon. Let's scroll through here and have a look. I think I've got it. Storm at sea, yep, that's indeed it. So let's drag that out. I don't know if this is a good one. Okay, it's in the Centre Forum if you'd like to read along with me. And it reads, 2d6 Roman fleets of the highest ranking available officer's choice, deployed or not deployed but excluding provincial fleets, are eliminated, up to a maximum of those currently existing. So this is probably a moot point, perhaps, so that'll be okay. There is no effect on legions, although some may have to be withdrawn to Italy for lack of support if sufficient additional fleets cannot be raised during the Senate phase. Excuse me. This event has no effect on the construction of new fleets. So, thankfully, it's a bad event, but an event that doesn't affect us because right now you don't have any fleets. So that was nice, but no effect there. And perhaps, if anything, it was a good draw. And noting that you didn't draw another war card or another war hero, so perhaps a good draw. Let's conclude your initiative. Would you like to make a persuasion attempt, Indominus?
No.
Would you like to roll for another knight?
Yes.
Which senator will be making the roll?
You can have more than one knight.
Absolutely, you can have as many knights as you can acquire.
Okay, Kata the Elder, and he'll spend 2.
He'll spend 2, so you'll need a 4, a 5, or a 6 on a roll of 1d6. Go ahead and give that a whirl. You've rolled a 3, unlucky. Oh dear, I'll put that in the Bank of Ingeniarius. Okay, would you like to change faction leader?
Nope.
And would you like to sponsor any games?
Nope.
Okay, that concludes the 6th and final initiative. So let's now look at our cheat sheets again and wrap up the forum phase. We now need to put Rome in order. So all senators currently holding a major office need to put a major red marker on their card. So right now that includes the Rome consul, the field consul, and the censor. You all need to grab a major marker and throw it on the card. So right down the left-hand side of the center field.
Is that the ones that next to the draw pile?
Yes, correct. The little red one. So you need one that says major. So grab a major marker and put that on the card of your office.
Okay.
So that's Rome consul, field consul, and censor. And I just want to double check. Pontifex Maximus may also need one. I just want to have a look.
Yes, it does.
Perfect, great. I'm pleased you looked that up. Go ahead and grab one for Pontifex Maximus as well. One, just one major marker for each of those. Great. And all that shows is just highlights to the censor who is eligible for some form of prosecution. So, just watching.
Just one, I think, Julius.
Let's have a look around here. So we've got the Rome consuls.
I tried to drag one over and I ended up with about 4 of the bastards.
I'll help you out here. So I'll drag one over there.
I'll just put one on the field consul, right?
Yeah, again, take the rest back. Perfect, well done. All right, so all the officers have their major corruption markers. Splendid. Okay, moving on. We don't have the Second Punic War in play. We don't need to worry about that. And we don't have any enemy leaders anymore in the Curia, so we can't do anything there. That's unlucky. And that will now conclude the forum phase. Okay, so we're now moving back into the ever-exciting population phase, getting ready for the State of the Republic speech. I hope the current Rome Consul has a great speech lined up. And I hope the Rome Consul has also thought about his one and only proposal for this year in what he's going to propose for the new consul, which is always elected in pairs. What we're going to do is, as I noted on our vomitorium previously, is that soon as the new consuls are elected, we're going to take our rest period at that point, leg stretch, ablutions, fill up our beverages, but that'll also give both the new Rome and field consul a little bit of time to converse, probably via whisper, to who will be the Rome consul, who will be the field consul, but also give the Rome consul then an opportunity just to think about his proposals. A little bit of time just to think about what's on the field, what his priorities are, etc., and then we will resume play again, okay? So at this time, I want everybody to check that their faction votes are now correct. Okay, so go through, add up all of your oratory skill and all of your knights, and that should be your total faction votes. Make sure you update your faction votes number in your play area as well as your token in the center faction vote tracker. Okay, so that's oratory plus knights. Make sure you update your faction votes now. And while you're at it, you might as well go ahead and update your faction influence. Make sure that's correct, which is just a total of all of the influence of all of your senators. So I'll give you a little bit of a moment to do that and give the Rome consul a breather to think about his speech. So let's have a look. So we've got Civibus da Panem is now sitting at 10 faction votes. Looks like the Hand of God's on 7 faction votes. Optimates are on 12. The Reaper's Party is on 7.
Now that was the oratory, right?
It's oratory plus knights. I don't think you've got any knights, do you, at the moment?
No, I haven't got any knights.
Unlucky. Hopefully in the future you will.
And so what was the faction influence?
That'll be your all the influence
all the
tally.
senators.
Yeah, so that's 11 for Julius, 3 for Achilles, and another 5 for Valerius. So I don't think there should be any change there, hopefully. And then 14 votes for the Tarquinius Pro Praetore faction. So I think we're nearly ready to resume.
Can I just say, if anybody wants to put their hand up to be nominated for the Rome console, I'm happy to hear suggestions if you send me a private message or publicly if you think that you would do good. I'm open to solicitation.
Okay, so let's look at the first part of the population phase. Thankfully, you don't have any droughts and you don't have any unprosecuted wars, so there's currently no change to the unrest level yet. And we're eventually going to do the State of the Republic speech. So at this point, let's hand over to our Rome consul and let's hear what they have to say, and we'll go from there.
Okay, everyone. So at the moment, we're facing a bit of a crisis with dual wars going on. So I believe that at the moment, it's important that we send a strong message to defeat these wars. And part of that, obviously, is going to be a strong set of consoles. So to this degree, I believe that it's important that we deal with them quickly and efficiently. So as part of this, I'm going to nominate Fabius Maximus of the Optimates faction as the field consul.
Not yet. No proposals just yet. You're still doing your State of the Republic speech.
Okay, sorry. So yes, we're a pretty dire situation due to the wars. So I believe that it's important that we stay on top of this and try to get these over and done with, unless they become a serious threat. So I believe that that's the main pressing issue that we have at the moment. And so let's work together and get these defeated. All right, that ends my speech, I believe.
All right, go ahead and roll your 3d6, and we'll be minusing a total of 3 from that roll. And do you have any popularity on that senator right now?
My main?
The current Rome consul. No, it doesn't appear so. You're 0.
Okay, I can roll?
Go ahead and roll your 3d6. Okay. This looks slightly better. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But we're going to minus 3 from that. 9, 8, 7. We're going to see a +3 increase to the unrest level and another manpower shortage.
Shit.
So let's have the Quaestor perhaps update the state unrest level from 3 to 6, and I'll reintroduce our manpower shortage. So again, not a great outcome.
What was the -3 for again? Sorry.
The current unrest level. So that unrest level continues to damage you. So just to let you know, the manpower shortage means units are now 20, not 10. Okay. Which will make things a little bit more difficult. And at this point, the Senate phase is alive and well, and the Rome consul can continue with his train of thought about his proposal for the next pair of consuls.
Okay, so...
Now, again, a note for the scriber. This is your time to shine, to take notes.
Yep.
You would have seen the existing minutes. Don't worry about the dates and the titles. The key thing is to capture the proposal, who made the proposal, the votes for, and the votes against. That's pretty much it, okay?
Cool.
So I can propose these on any order? Doesn't have to do the Rome one first or anything?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So I guess as the current Rome consul, I'm going to propose that we vote for Fabius Maximus of the Optimates to be our next field consul.
You can't determine that. Only the consuls, once elected, will determine amongst themselves who is field and Rome consul. So you'll just elect a pair. Or you'll propose a pair, rather.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I guess I will nominate Fabius Maximus as one of the two, and at the same time I will also nominate Cato the Elder as the second. So if we want to vote on those two, so once again, Fabius Maximus of the Optimates and Cato the Elder of Priscus Tarquinius. So I guess we'll vote in order. Then,
make sure the scriber notes down the names of those proposed, and the ID numbers usually help as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll start up here. So Priscus Tarquinius, how would you like to vote on this?
Yes, I voted 14 in favour.
14 in favour, no worries. Reaper's Party, how would you like to vote?
I think I'll abstain at the moment.
Abstains are no longer available. You have to vote for or against.
Oh, for or against. All right, then 7-4.
7-4. Nobody's down there. Optimates, how would you like to vote?
We'll vote 4, so that's 12.
Yep. Hand of God, we will vote 7-4. And lastly, Civibus, how would you like to vote?
5-4.
5-4. Okay.
So therefore, for the record, that's 5 against only for that proposal.
Yep.
I've got 5 against.
Yeah, because the last faction split their votes, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, 5-4. Okay, as such then, those two are now the selected consoles, I guess.
All right, if Posthumus, if you'd like to manage the handover of the Rome and Field Console tokens as appropriate. For those who are losing the Office of Rome and Field Console, please make sure you grab yourselves a green prior console marker to add to that senator's card.
So who do I give them to, since we haven't decided who's who?
So let's put them in the middle for the moment, because they'll have to decide amongst themselves. So go ahead and throw the Rome and Field Console name plaques into the center. Yep, good. Presiding Magistrate as well. I'll grab the Field Console one from Cornelius Dolabella. And I'll grab the Field Console token there. Very good.
I'll put forward, I'm very happy to have Fabius become Field Console. Although I will warn, I don't have the best of luck with the dice.
Do we have a decision then who Rome and Field Console is?
It sounds like it.
All right, if we can have the Field Console, then go ahead and give a grand introduction to our new Rome Console, and then the Presiding Magistrate then.
Great. Well, I propose the second youngest senator on the board, who's called Cato the Elder. I believe will form a fantastic Rome Console, while I, Fabius, will look after the real man work of defeating our enemies.
All right, yay, welcome. Good. Okay. Yes, it's a grand occasion to be elected consul. Yeah, never let that escape. Okay, so if the Rome and Field Console wish to take up their nameplates, their purple tokens for their senator cards, and now go ahead and increase the influence of your senators by that annotated on the respective tokens, which I believe is 5 for both, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Okay.
At this time, I welcome everybody else to now take a break, have a leg stretch, refill your beverages, take 5 minutes, and that'll also give the Rome Console some time to think about his upcoming proposals as well, and we'll resume again in about 5 minutes' time, okay? So go ahead and take a break. For all those watching the stream, hang in there. We're going to move to the take a break. All of us are now going to take a break, and you should take a break too. Refill your beverages and don't go away. Okay, we're back live. Let's get the audio back on for you guys as well. Welcome back for those that are watching from home. We've just returned from a short recess. We've just elected our brand new consoles. our Rome consul, and now sitting presiding magistrate, which is Cato the Elder from the Tarquinius faction over there, and our new field consul down here in the Optimates faction, which is now Fabius Maximus. Two quite well-known senators. Perhaps not surprising that they would end up with the consularship in such a difficult time as we face down the barrel of two wars, each with their own war hero. We've got the First Punic War there, and then we've got the Second Macedonian War, the second of what is 4 wars in a series. So lots of danger ahead for our Senate. Will we see some incredible leadership from the current Rome consul? Let's wait and see. Let's hand the Senate back over now to Cato the Elder and Indominus to run his Senate. Over to you, Indominus.
Well, greetings, fellow Romans. We are at some dire straits right now. We have enemies on the left and enemies on the right and enemies inside. We need to clear it all out. So for this reason, first step is we need to elect a censor. Can I have nominations, please?
So it's up to you, Consul, to make the proposal, and your options are those that have a prior Consul marker, the green ones.
So I think it can only be Terentius or Fulvius, I believe.
Yeah, there's 3 on the table. You've got Julius, Fulvius, and Terentius. So each of those have been prior serving consuls. And just as a point of order, a censor can get re-elected a censor again, just so you know.
I propose Terentius to be censor of Rome.
Sorry, who was it?
Terentius.
Terentius, okay. All right.
Which party's he? Sorry.
Hand of God.
Hand of God.
So, vote on that.
It feels a disruptive thing to do at the current time. Surely better to stick with what has worked so well for us in the past.
Well, I as Terentius, of course, have to agree with that. He's already... The Optimates has already got a Pontifex Maximus and the field consul and a censor. I think that's a bit too much power for one party, guys. So I think we should be careful with that and perhaps vote for Terentius.
All right, let the votes begin. Tarquinius party votes 14 in favor. Can I have Civibus da Panem et Circenses?
10 in favor.
That's 24 in favor. Hand of God.
We will vote 7 in favor of the proposal.
31 in favor. Optimus.
Against 7. No, not 7, sorry. 12.
19 in favor. Rebus party.
7-4.
26 in favor. That brings us to a majority.
Very good. Okay, so at this point in time, if the current censor can hand over his purple token to the new censor, as well as the censor name plaque into the faction zone.
Thank you.
And the new censor, Terentius, if you'd like to add +5 to the influence of Terentius's card.
Will do. I shall do that in just 1 second. 5, so I need 11. Oh.
And while he's doing that, if the Rome consul would like to hand over the presiding magistrate name plaque across to the censors party, they are now going to take on the presiding magistrate role for prosecutions.
6. Just 1 second, just moving this.
All right, take your time.
Vote totals, influence. Yep. Technically I need 1. Put that one down there. All right. I So I'm doing prosecution, am I? Or
Yes, you are. So it's now over to you. Now take a moment. You don't need to leap straight away. Have a look around the Senate.
yeah.
Consider your options. Bearing in mind you've got a couple of different choices. You can either do 2 minor prosecutions, or you can do 1 major and 1 minor, I believe, or just 1 major, or any combination of those. If you need to, consult your prosecutions guide.
Yes.
That can give you some idea about what goes down. I'm going to pull it up in front of myself as well.
I'm having a quick read.
Yeah, you go 2 minor or 1 major, or obviously no prosecutions is an option. Although I'd say you'd be daft if you said no. But that's just the peanut gallery talking. And of course, as a good note as well, anybody that holds a major prosecution marker is in fact also eligible for a minor prosecution. So it can be both. Anybody that has a corruption portion visible on their concession is also a minor prosecution. Okay.
Major. So sorry, what's this INF in the cheat sheet?
That would be influence, highly likely.
Okay.
Let's. I'm just looking where you're. Yeah, INF would be influence. For those watching along on the stream, the current appointed or elected censor is now deciding on any prosecutions that he may make in this current Senate phase. He's looking across the field at anybody that either holds a visible corruption on their concession or a major corruption marker. All of those are visible. All of those are susceptible to some sort of form of prosecution should they go ahead. With those with a major marker only being eligible for, or can be eligible for both a major or a minor prosecution.
I think that I may prosecute Civibus, his Senator Furius, as he's got 2 corruptions on him.
All right, what faction's that? I'm just going to have a look.
Civibus. Braden's Circenses.
Oh, yes, so the Civibus da Panem faction, and the senator in question is Furius, ID number 8.
Yes,
I see.
8, that's correct.
Okay, all right. So you've now nominated him, and that can be for a minor prosecution at this point.
Yes.
And at this point in time, you now need to appoint a prosecutor. Okay, so a prosecutor can come from any faction, including your own. It just can't be the censor.
Okay.
So feel free to call for volunteers if you wish, noting that there are rewards for prosecutors should they be successful in a prosecution.
Does
influence help if you're a prosecutor?
Sorry, what was the question?
Does your personal influence help if you're a prosecutor?
Oratory. It's all about oratory if you're a prosecutor.
Oratory,
Same as if you're an advocate.
Well, I have very low oratory, so if there's anybody that has a high, I'm willing to take a suggestion if they want to prosecute. Or everyone's pretty...
Alias in Optimates is good oratory.
Alias, I think he's maybe the best. So yeah, I'm happy for him to be the prosecutor. We don't have to vote. I just get to appoint him.
That is correct. It's just an appointment. No vote required.
Okay. So I guess I will appoint Alias then as the prosecutor.
Fantastic. Now,
could he refuse the appointment if he wanted to?
Yep, absolutely. Because if you can't find a willing prosecutor, then there is no prosecution. So you do have a willing prosecutor, and that is through Alias. He has an oratory of 4, which we'll use later. We now need to appoint an advocate, which is your defender or your defending lawyer. Again, this can be anyone, or if no advocate can be found, then the defender is considered to be defending himself. So this time, perhaps it's up to Sempronius to appeal to someone, or even just appoint somebody with his own faction to become the advocate.
The Rome consul himself will step forward as a ruling advocate if accepted.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Very good. And his oratory is 6. That's fantastic. And therefore, that is a difference of 2 there, which will come in handy later. Now, what we do at this stage, now that we have both a prosecutor and an advocate, I need to hear the opening statements from the prosecutor as to why this senator should be charged, and then I'd like to hear from the advocate, please. So let us start with the prosecutor. Let us open your case.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, I bring you
I love this.
Furius. This man has been living like a parasite off poor, hard-working Romans who've been farming their land, pushing land aside, planting the crops themselves, and then Furius comes, takes the land off them, and, to add insult to injury, applies a tax to the food that they've farmed. Some might say he's taking food from the hands of babies. I move that we strip this man of these abilities and stop him from further endangering both the lives of our citizens and also our food security. I move to prosecute.
All right, let's hear from our advocate.
Furius is a upstanding Roman citizen, and he has been working hard all his life. He's from a good family, and the party he represents has honest goals. He is working the farmers hard, this is true, but due to the result of upcoming wars in the area, we need to drive that, and we need to make sure we don't leave anything behind for the enemy to incur. So I think he's been doing the right thing, and I vote that, or I propose that he is not found corrupt, because at this time in this year we cannot afford to have such division amongst the Senate. We need to focus. The focus is the invaders. We need to get rid of them. Let's not waste our time and money on senseless prosecutions like this.
Nice. Very good. So that's it. So we've now done what we call the calculation of the trial votes. What we'll have done from here is we'll have the censor roll a 2d6, and this will determine the final outcome of that debate between the prosecutor and the advocate. So go ahead and roll 2d6 for me, please, censor. You've rolled 8. So I'm going to.
Okay, was that supposed to be the censor?
It doesn't matter. That's fine. So long as a 2d6 was rolled. So the trial votes is the advocate's oratory minus the prosecutor's oratory. So we have 6 minus 4. I've got that in the correct order. The advocate being the defender, that gives us 2. And then there we go plus, what was our 2d6 result? It was 8, which is a total of 10. So therefore, that's 10 votes currently against the prosecution. So it's a not guilty, essentially, right now. So I'm just making notes here as we go along, because there's still a Senate vote to occur, which will be run in order by the censor. For those who are looking to look up what I'm looking at right now in the rules section, if you go to Rule 2.05.3, it's called trial votes, and the trial votes is the advocate's oratory, aka the defender lawyer, minus the prosecutor's oratory plus the 2d6, and so therefore any positive result there is therefore votes in favour of a not guilty verdict. Does everybody agree, and does everybody understand that? That's Rule 2.05.3, trial votes.
Yep.
Okay. So right now, 10 votes towards the not guilty side at this point in time. Okay. All right. What we're going to do from here, it's over to the censor to run, I guess the vote, I guess, which goes to determining the final verdict, and it just simply votes for or against. 4 is guilty, against is not guilty, and you make it as clear that you can say guilty or not guilty. That means the same thing using the votes that you have at your disposal. The accused will also add his influence, as if they were votes, to his total as well. And it is also worth noting, at the point in which the censor elects the faction of the guilty party to cast their vote, they could, if they choose, make a popular appeal. And if they decide to go down that path, we'll deal with that then, which is can sway the outcome depending on how popular your senator is. Okay. Outside of that, it's just your votes, noting that the accused gets to add his influence as votes as well. Okay, so over to the censor now to conduct votes for the trial.
All right. So, Tarquinius, how would you like to vote on this matter?
Not guilty.
How many votes?
14.
Okay.
Reaper's Party, how would you like to vote on this?
7 not guilty.
7 not guilty. Optimates, how would you like to vote?
12 guilty.
12 guilty. We at the Hand of God will vote 7 guilty. And Civibus, how would you like to vote?
10 not guilty.
Okay, with all factions
right,
voted, it's quite clearly a not guilty verdict.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
So now I'm just checking to see if there's obviously it was not a successful minor prosecution, and I'm just looking through the rules now to determine if there's any outcome there for I guess the prosecutor. So let's go back and have a look at that section in the Senate phase.
So I think I lose 3 influence.
Let's just double check if you want to read the rule to everybody, the rule number.
Oh, I was there just now, so I've moved away again. 2.05.6 innocent. If the verdict is innocent, the advocate gains 3 influence. The prosecutor loses 3 influence to a minimum of 0.
Let me just double check that. 2.0506. I'm just making sure that is. That's different from popular appeal. So that is correct. So it was an innocent verdict. Therefore, the advocate, the defender, gains 3 influence. So the current Rome consul can go ahead and add 3 influence to his card. And the prosecutor can now lose 3 influence from their senator to a minimum of 0.
Okay. Oh, yes.
So I'll allow the senators to make those updates to their influence.
Yeah.
And then the Sense has a decision to make if you'd like to proceed with a second minor prosecution. And Furius is no longer able to be prosecuted. He is now considered freed.
I will not be making another prosecution.
That's sad to hear. Okay, in that case then, if that is your final decision, Censor, please pass the presiding magistrate name plaque back to the Rome consul for him to return to his Senate.
That is...
And while that's occurring, everybody that has the corruption
actually...
portion of their concession revealed may now hide it, and everybody that has a major corruption marker may now return it back to the token pool. So there is no more corruption evident in the Senate. So yes, return all your major corruption markers to the major corruption marker pool. Hide all the corruptions on your concessions. Would you, for you, Cornelius Dolabella, would you like me to remove Julius's token?
Oh, okay, I think I was just about to, but you'll probably be a heck of a lot faster.
All done there, very good. Okay, and I'll remove Terentius as well. Get rid of that. Okay. Everybody, I'd like you to do just another check of your faction votes. Make sure all your faction votes are correct, and just double check your influence additions as well, because there's been some changes. And if you haven't done so, make sure you update your position on the influence track down the bottom left. And then, yeah, over to the Rome console to run his Senate.
Okay, so the first thing I want to bring up is a change to taxation. How do I get more money out of those poor people that we're looking after?
So there's no way to change the state income each round. That's unfortunately not an option.
Okay.
What you can influence is unrest level.
Yeah, we definitely need to influence the unrest level. It's currently set at 6. So I propose that we hold some games.
No, remember that's done in the initiative steps. So what everybody will want to pull up in front of them is the land bills guide. Okay, so in order to influence the unrest level, you can propose a land bill. So if you have a look down that bottom left under the state revenue title down there, there's a very brief summary about what land bills do. So for example, there's 3 types, land bill 1, 2 and 3, and they each have different costs and have different effects. And in fact, I think if you look all the way up the top left under the state treasury, you can see the land bills table. In fact, that's probably a better thing to look at. Look at the land bills table at the top left under the state treasury. You can see the cost of each of the types and then what the effects are. Okay, so for a land bill to be proposed, there needs to be a sponsor and a co-sponsor, and they get some rewards for proposing a land bill. And then the state will pay any cost associated with those. So for example, a type 1 will reduce the unrest level by 1, and it's a once-off payment of 20 talents. Of course, you can introduce a type 2 or a type 3, which is, I guess, essentially cheaper, but it's an ongoing cost each year, and there's a once-off change to the unrest level, respectively, for the various type 2 or type 3. Okay, you could then repeal those votes both in the same Senate phase or in a future Senate phase, should you wish to do so. Okay. So have a look at that table. That should inform you about what you'd like to do there, Rome console.
Let's, as the field console, let's not forget we do have a lot of armies and a lot of fleets to raise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're up against that very competent leader, whoever he was.
Yes, and we've got the manpower shortage.
And yeah, so that's going to double the cost.
Yeah.
Is there any way for us to get rid of the manpower shortage if we do land bills, or will the unrest still be too high?
No, the manpower shortage will stay there until the next forum phase.
Okay. Yep.
So how much? It's 10 for a legion normally and 10 for a fleet as well?
That is correct.
Yep.
Now 20 at the moment.
20.
Yep. And we've got 220. And we need... So we're going to have strength of 16 for the Macedonian War, and strength of 13 for the Punic Wars, plus a fleet strength of 10, which would also need a fleet of 5 to carry it through. So,
Well, it's a fleet battle of 10. Yeah, fleet battle of 10. Minimum.
Yeah, but then you need fleet. So our fleet power would be 10, but then we also need 5 in reserve as well. So we actually need 15 fleets to pursue the...
I thought it was minimum of 5 fleets required, but 10 need to be involved in the battle or something? Or
right, so provided that after a naval battle that you have surviving fleets that are 5 or more, then you can prosecute the land war. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got to end up with at least 5 fleets.
To be able to prosecute the land war, correct.
Yeah, but 10 fleets are going to cost us 200.
Yeah, so we can't afford that war. We can hardly afford the other one either.
Yeah.
We do have we have our own leader. What's his military skill?
5.
He halves the losses as well.
Yeah, but the losses don't give us
Yeah.
it's losses.
Yeah, and we can't afford to do the fleets for the Punic War. We just can't do it.
No, we have to focus our attention on the Macedonian War.
And I'm not bringing this up for any reason. I just want to make sure you guys have all the information. Just note, so that in this case, the Macedonian War is the second of 4. So that means somewhere out there is 3 other Macedonian wars, and they can all be multiples of each other and cause you a lot of trouble if they all come out once. Same goes for the Punic Wars. Okay, I'll give you a hint. One of the Punic Wars doesn't exist in the early Republic, but there is another one out there still that you haven't come across. And so that will double the strength of a war.
Well, we can't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we can't do the Punics because we can't raise enough fleets.
Well, right. You can technically. If you can raise 5 fleets, right, as a minimum, you can prosecute the land war, provided you've fought the naval battle first, achieved a naval victory.
Yeah, but then if we lose even just 1 fleet in the battle, then we can't prosecute the war.
Correct. But if you've got a naval victory, that is considered to have been prosecuted this turn and will not become unprosecuted and therefore not cost you an unrest level, assuming you achieve a naval victory.
Because I was just thinking it might be cheaper to get the Macedonian War out of the way because we don't need the fleets for that one.
I agree. Yeah. But we need to see if we can get a number higher than 16. And with our military leader not being as good as Philip V, we need to have more. But we do have a veteran unit to draw on.
Right, so he's worth double. So really, you've actually got 3 legions there, not 2.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I propose that we set our land bill to type 3. This will allow us to manage the unrest that will come by not having both wars fought, but just focusing on the one war. So it'll cost us a bit more over time, but it'll allow us to get that unrest under control.
So I'll just, as a point of interest here, and I know you haven't probably quite finished the proposal, but you'll need to tell me who a sponsor is and a co-sponsor is. That can be anyone, including the Rome Consul or not. It doesn't matter, provided you've got both of those. They stand to gain some popularity should this pass. And also, it's worth noting, anybody that votes against a land bill proposal receives minus popularity as per the chart there.
Can I nominate a co-sponsor?
Well, you'll need to nominate both a sponsor and co-sponsor, and that can be anyone.
Okay.
I think it should have broad support. Having both consoles do it would make sense.
So I nominate Cato the Elder as sponsor, and I nominate Julius as co-sponsor for Type 3 land bill.
All right.
Let's have 4.
All right.
So for or against, let's start with Hand of God.
Hand of God will vote all our 7 votes in favour of
Thank
that
you.
proposal.
Optimates.
All 12 in favour.
Thank you. And Reaper's Party.
We've got to win this 7 in favour.
Okay. And Aquila's Party.
10 in favour.
And myself, 14 in favour. So we have passed Type 3 land bill for the next 10 It's going to cost us 10 per year.
All right. So if the Quaestor wants to pick up the Type 3 land bill and then place that in the respective zone just down to the bottom left there, because you can actually have up to 3 of those at any one time. As you can see, so there's 3 available spaces in the perennial, just under the state revenue box down the bottom left there of the central zone. You can see that.
Yeah.
Yep, so drag one of your Type 3s down into there. That'll let us know that that's a debt that we need to pay. And we can go ahead and deduct the 10... I believe the 10 talents come off now. Actually, that's a good question. Let's double check. While I'm double checking that, if the sponsor wants to give himself +4 popularity, and if the co-sponsor wants to give himself +2 popularity.
Okay.
Oh, that was the sheet I was looking for. Excellent. Found it. That's good.
Yeah, you looked it up. Check everything.
I'm just going across now to the
Right.
the other rules. It's not clear to me yet. Let's have a look here. I need to go to 1962. Here we go. Yep, so let's go ahead and deduct that value, which is, what is it, 10 at the moment?
10. Yeah.
Yep, alright, so minus 10 from the State Treasury.
Does that immediately affect the
Yep, go ahead and decrease the unrest level by 3 as well. So the people are very happy with that. So it's good. It's starting to get some interesting popularity out there now. So we've got 4 popularity. Who was our co-sponsor for that bill?
Julius.
Oh, Julius. Oh.
You said he got +2 popularity, correct?
He did. Did he already have some popularity, did he?
Yeah, he had 2, so now he's up to 4.
Oh, right. What did he have his previous 2 popularity for?
You went to war.
Probably being the
That's
winner
right.
in general.
Yeah,
Just
nice.
one.
Yeah, good. Oh, well done. Okay. Nice. Okay, good. Very good.
Okay. Next proposal in the Senate floor will be to go to war. For this, we need to raise an army. I propose that we raise an army of 12 legions to fight the Second Macedonian War.
We don't have enough money for that, do we?
I don't think so.
It's 20 each, so that'd be 240.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and we need 5 fleets.
We did too. Sorry.
Our unrest has gone down, so does that make them cheaper?
No, sorry.
Oh. It's worth a try.
worth a shot.
So what do we need? We need 5 fleets then, and
So we need 5 fleets. We don't have a way around that.
well, we've got 1 already, so we only need 4.
No, you got 0 fleets.
No?
We
Oh.
don't need
Yeah.
a fleet. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's
Remember
going
we had that thing of losing 2 fleets and we didn't even have
Ah.
them.
Yep.
to cost us 100 to go get 5 fleets. That means we can only afford 5 more units to take to war. That'll be a massive victory if we make it. But then the Romans are the best at battle.
Well,
So if we fight the naval war and win it, we don't get any civil unrest. Is that correct?
That's for the Punic War, if you're talking about the Punic War. The Macedonian War does not require a naval battle.
Yeah, but then we would have a unprosecuted war in Macedonia because we wouldn't have sent anyone. Is that right?
Correct. Any war that you do not send a force against becomes an unprosecuted war and increases the unrest level by 1.
we can't really afford to have 2 unprosecuted wars sitting there.
Can we get away with just doing the naval battle for the Punic Wars before we engage with the land battle?
Yeah, that's fine. If you just want to send just a naval battle and just achieve a naval victory, should you be lucky, that's perfectly fine. That counts as being prosecuted then that turn.
Can we afford the 10? We'd need 10 fleets for the Punic War, wouldn't we?
No, we only need 5, I think.
Well,
Or-
just a point of order, if you're talking about a naval battle with a Punic War, for the naval battle portion, technically you need, I think it's a minimum of 5, but ideally if you want to increase your odds of success, then you'll want a higher number than that.
Right.
Does the leader of the war is he also an admiral as well as a general?
That is correct. So he increases both the naval strength and land strength, not the fleet support. The fleet support never changes.
So we have a better chance of getting a victory against the Punic War than we have against the Macedonian War. But we will not be able to resolve. If we do win the naval battle this activation, this turn, in the next turn, do we have to do that again?
No. Once you've achieved a naval victory, that's it. You don't have to fight the naval victory again, provided it was in fact a victory.
Sure.
But we'd still have to fight the land component.
That is correct.
Would that be what, next year?
Well, whenever you decide it to be as a Senate.
So,
Sorry?
Whenever you decide that to be as a Senate.
Oh, right, okay.
so I propose in that case that we raise a fleet of 9 ships, hand it over to our field consul, and win us a naval battle.
Okay, so, the treasury will go down quite a bit, but I'm happy next year to make a few concessions because to the treasury because I get 3 talents for every ship that we build. So it's not a lot, but at least I will make a public pledge to donate next year.
So he says.
So it's a public pledge. I can't go back on it.
Yes, to.
You can go back on it. We just remember if you go back on it.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. So he's making a public agreement with everybody.
Yes,
Right.
I am. I'll donate. Well, look, if we raise 9, I'll donate 25 next year to make it easier. So that's my deal.
Oh, so
I'm scribing that.
Okay. Yeah, scribe that down. All right.
In that case, I propose we raise 10 ships instead of 9 ships.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
So it's also worth noting the behaviours of during the debit phase, whether you're forced to pay the maintenance of all units that you have in possession, or if you can choose to disband them. I think you need to check that as well first. If you can willingly disband, if you can't afford them, or if you must pay their maintenance cost. I think you need to check that first.
Okay.
That will come under the revenue phase where you pay for the state's debt. So if you look for that under the revenue portion in the rules.
Where are we?
No, so that's after the state revenue. So we pick up the state revenue first, then we pay the debts.
That is correct. Yeah, the debts comes after the revenue.
How much is the debt though?
2 for every legion and fleet.
Legion fleet.
Correct.
Then minus 20 for each act of war. So we're going to see minus 40.
Correct. Unless it's prosecuted. Oh, well, sorry, just great. Yeah, it'll be active. It'll still cost you 20. That's correct.
So, yeah, 20, 40. So it'll be 60. But then if I donate, so we'll have 80 in the treasury. And then that's probably all right. So are we going to vote on this then?
Wait a minute. If we just think the other way around, so if we do nothing, so if we have a high unrest level and we haven't paid this money, because remember these troops cost us double now what they will next term, and we're still going to have the active war, all we're doing is stopping the unprosecuted war.
So all it will do is reduce the unrest level by 1.
Yes.
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
Yeah, if
So
you achieve a naval victory, it will reduce the unrest level by 1. But for every unprosecuted war, it will increase the unrest level by 1.
Yes. So.
But the naval victory won't end the war. The war will still be going, won't it?
So you'll still have the 20 talent cost of an active war, but there will no longer be a naval battle portion to fight for that war.
Yes, but it'll cost us 20 talents for a Type 1 land bill, which will be +1. So if you think we're about to spend 100 or 200 talents to essentially stop 1 unrest level.
Yeah.
Whereas we can spend 10 talents now to reduce the unrest level.
What does a games do?
What, sorry?
How much does it cost to run some games, and does that change the unrest level?
So if you go look at the games table on the right-hand side of the center section, to the right of the sandpit, under the assassination table, you'll see the cost of games, what popularity that gets you, but also how that affects the unrest level. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Are those personal costs or are those?
They are
costs?
personal costs from a single personal treasury.
So what we need.
It's not a faction treasury then.
So you recall every time I asked you during the initiative step, would you like to sponsor a game? That's the point that you do it, and that's the table you refer to.
But it's not a faction treasury, it's a personal treasury.
It is a personal treasury.
At what stage do you transfer from faction treasury to personal treasury?
You can do that at the redistribution step, which is just after the faction income part of the revenue phase.
So we've already done all that, haven't we?
Correct. For this year.
We couldn't do it now if we wanted to.
Correct. You can't do it now.
And that's just before the... Right, okay, that's, before the forum phase. Okay.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay, so I am swayed by the Optimates group, who seem to be uncharacteristically logical at the moment. And my proposal for this year is to sit tight, wait for the manpower shortage to disappear, hope there is no wars being drawn next year.
Yeah.
And save our coinage and continue as we are.
All right.
Risky, but I think should we put that to a vote?
It's a big risk.
Everyone.
What was the proposal?
The proposal is to do nothing.
Well, to do nothing is not a proposal. That's used to simply do nothing. So that doesn't require a proposal.
Okay, so my proposal is to finish the Senate for the year.
No, that's not a proposal. That's just a directive that you make.
Is there anything else we should vote on?
All this power.
So
hang on.
exactly. Just a thought. I don't know if this is possible, but given games are an option which improve the unrest level, but most of us don't have 18 talents in an individual to spend in that way. Are there any ways for us to run a bill, run a tax, which will give an individual the money to run one of the better games?
I just want to double check. So is it Posthumous that's already made the public agreement to sponsor games in the next year?
Only if fleets were fleets were built.
Okay, which didn't occur, so that's fine. But right, to answer your question, Cornelius Calum, right, technically, if you can't, you have to be careful with a proposal like that because you can't force someone to spend money. But if you form it as a public agreement instead, where you all agree to give money during the redistribution point to a single senator to then sponsor a game, and if it's a public agreement, then they're obliged to then sponsor those games with the money that's been transferred. So a proposal is not an option, but a public agreement is. Because, you have to be careful. A proposal can't force anybody to spend money. But, if you want to make a public agreement doing just that, then that is possible.
Okay. But there's no way to move money from the Rome treasury rather than from an individual.
No. So no, you can't sponsor games from the state treasury. No.
Cool. But is there a way to move money from the state treasury to an individual?
I have allowed in previous games that at the state income step for not all of the money to make it to the state treasury. So, and what I allude to there is it was used, and it wasn't much at all. It was to pay for the role of the scriber. The scriber was compensated in their role. if the Senate as a proposal wishes to see funds disappear, and I just want to be careful about this and how it works on the mechanics. On the state income for that money to then go elsewhere, that's fine. But bearing in mind, if let's say you pay an individual senator, there is no obligation for that senator to do anything with that money.
Yes.
Are these games cumulative?
Sorry, what was that?
Are the games cumulative? That if
if you have 5 senators all sponsor games, absolutely, they'll all reduce the unrest level. Yeah, definitely. So to answer your question again,
what I'm hearing is it's possible for a proposal to be worded such that a trustworthy senator, such as, for example, the High Priest, could be given the task of running these games and also the funds.
Right, so I'm happy for a proposal to be passed for the state treasury, for money that would go to state treasury to be redistributed at that point to a particular senator, but noting there's no obligation under the rules for that senator to do anything with that money.
Yes.
Because a public agreement can't affect the state treasury. If you've got to leverage a quid pro quo arrangement with the Senate to then back that up with a public agreement from the Senate proposal, that might be a way to enforce the measure. So obviously the senator who's going to sponsor the games is giving money up, but what is the other side offering, I guess, for that public agreement, I guess, is what you need to work out. That would be a way of securing it. But right, yeah, a proposal can't force anyone to spend money.
Yeah.
Can a field consul be appointed a second time as field consul?
Not yet. Consuls cannot be appointed again unless a law has been passed, and that law has not come up yet.
That's a law. That's something that, so that's a card.
Yeah, hint. There's a law later on that'll pop up to allow consuls to run a second or third consecutive term.
Because we appointed Fabius to go and fight this war, and now we're not fighting a war.
Right.
Fabius Cato.
No, Fabius, yes. No, you're right. So basically we lose his
impact. Fabius was.
That's a good observation,
we do. Yes.
We lose his impact if we don't fight a war.
We do.
Halves the losses.
Yes. Well,
it's also heavy.
But fundamentally, we're not going to win it. He's got military rating of 5. We've got 2 other commanders with military of 4.
Remember, you don't have to achieve a victory for a war to be considered prosecuted. Provided a force has engaged with the enemy, it is considered prosecuted and will not be an unprosecuted war that turn.
So how much do we lose? We lose 20 if we don't prosecute the war. Is that correct?
All active and unprosecuted will cost you 20 talents.
Yep. So we're not going to win the war. All we're losing is an unrest level.
But if we send the fleets, well, it's not an unprosecuted war, so we've only got one unprosecuted war.
Correct, because you've sent a force, that war will remain active and not be an unprosecuted war, and therefore you won't be charged the unrest level for that.
But if we sent one fleet, then do we run the risk of Fabius dying? Let's say
there's a very high potential of that. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
That'd be suicide if you just sent one fleet.
Yeah, but then it's prosecuted, so we don't lose.
Yeah, but
it works out about the same.
If you've got the support of the Senate, you can make it happen.
Let's send Fabius to his death.
Is the Hang on. If we lose the war, what's the chance of Fabius dying?
If it's a defeat, so look at your combat results table for what we're talking about here. If the final outcome on the combat results table is a defeat, the commander of that force instantly dies. Now, for every other condition, be it stalemate or disaster, etc., there is a number of death chits drawn equal to losses of units.
So,
And a disaster defeat increases the unrest level.
I believe it does, yes.
so it'd be counterproductive.
Yeah, that's right. So all defeats and disasters increase the unrest level. A disaster, half of all legions and fleets rounded up are lost. In a standoff, a quarter of all legions and fleets rounded up are lost.
But it's only half of those losses because of his card.
Right, if you've got a special ability that halves those losses, right.
Yeah, because his special ability is that it halves our losses, isn't it?
There you go. Yep, that's worth.
Half all losses rounded up.
That's worth noting.
Yeah. But that's at maximum going to be 2. Oh, sorry, 4. So you're going to save us 4 legions and fleets, or fleets.
Yes. I mean, that's assuming you sent legions in. If you only prosecute the naval battle, then there's no legions susceptible to losses, and therefore it'd only be naval losses. Now, you can send legions in a naval battle, and they just become potential victims based on the losses table in the combat results table there. So if you're going to use them as fodder in the potential to hopefully save some fleets, yeah. I don't know. It depends on what your strategy is, really.
All right, so can I have any last... I propose that everyone makes any last proposals.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to close the Senate.
All right. Senate is now closed, ladies and gentlemen. Unless somebody sneaks in a Tribune card right there and then, but I don't think that's going to happen. Therefore, no commanders were appointed to any forces, and therefore there will be no combat phase. Now what we need to do is we need to move all active wars to the unprosecuted war spaces that were not attacked. And therefore that's 2. So both of these active wars become unprosecuted. Somebody's already moving them. Perfect. I'll leave that to you then. Now I don't think we don't change the unrest level yet. That may occur somewhere else. Let's just double check. Right, so that'll occur in the population phase. So don't touch the unrest level just yet. Okay, so with that done, let's move on to the revolution phase. Intrigue. So at this point in time, starting with the highest ranking available officer, if you've got a card that is playable at this time that you wish to play, and I'm talking about either statesmen that are legal to play, as well as concessions, or body cards, which are referred to as open bodyguards, they may be played at this time, should you wish to do so. So let's go to the current Rome console up the top left there. Starting with you, is there any cards that you'd like to play at this time?
Negative.
Moving across to Civibus da Panem, any cards you'd like to play at this time, Sempronius? So concessions or notables, statesmen perhaps that are legal to play at this time? Or open bodyguard cards if you wish to play those? If you need to, feel free to use the whisper if you want to chat about your options. Or let me have a look if you've got questions.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, moving on to the Hand of God.
Sorry, am I allowed to move one of these cards to another senator or take it off?
Yeah, that's fine. If you like to move your concessions around at this time, yeah, absolutely you can do that. Or if you want to take one back into your hand, I can also accept that. So feel free to do that now. While you're considering that, let's move on to the Hand of God faction. Would you like to make any play from your hand at this point?
No, I don't have anything to play, unfortunately.
Okay, and to the Optimates, anything you'd like to play at this time?
No, nothing at this time.
Okay, very good. Right, so yeah, at this point, yep, you can play, trade, and if you needed to, you discard your red faction cards at this point, but everybody is under their hand limit, so that's fine. There's nobody to nobody's in a position to declare a rebellion. There are no governors and there are no victorious commanders at this point, and therefore we end the turn. Rome is still alive. As a quick recap, the unrest level is currently at 3. That's not bad. That's not good either. The state treasury looks rather healthy, but however, you've got 2 unprosecuted wars on the board right now, and they could become considerably worse in the turn to come, depending on the draw.
So, hold on a sec.
Holding a sec.
So, if by public agreement, I play my tax cards and agree to donate that money to the state treasury, can we do that?
Right, because that income from the concessions goes to a personal treasury, and at that point, when it comes to that point in your initiative phase that you make a donation to state treasury, you could do so.
So if I get agreement from everybody that I play the tax cards, it'll collect some money, and that I'll donate. I can't do that now. Oh no, it's by public agreement, so I can possibly.
I mean, you could do that without a public agreement.
Yeah, but no. I want to make sure that nobody prosecutes me.
So let's have a think about that. I think I'm just going to check the legality of that. That might be okay. So based on our summary sheet, if we go back and have a look at that rule,
Depends on the censor.
have a look at everybody. Let's go have a look at Rule 1.04.3, because that will often tell you some things that can't be made as an agreement. 1.04.3. Where are we looking here? There it is.
Public agreements. Last.
What is it, 1.0?
4.3. Okay, so here's what you can't do. Deals involving the distribution of the Roman field console is never enforceable, nor is any deal involving an assassination attempt or agreements to revolt or to remain loyal to Rome. So technically, what you propose there, that if you donate as per the public agreement to the state treasury and not be subject to a prosecution from the censor, that is a legal agreement.
So I can raise, won't be a lot, but it'll be some money that I'm willing to play those cards.
So what you'll need to do is, really, it's only from only need to seek that mutual agreement from those that are eligible to be censor in the next year. Some could not agree to that agreement. Some could. So depending on who's elected, and then potentially the Senate can influence that election cycle. Right. So the agreement is legal, provided those that could be a censor all have also agreed at this time.
Because we got 2 major wars we're going to have to fight.
Right. Look, don't get me wrong. I think you make a very valid.
We all agreed to play our concession cards to raise money and donate it, and nobody prosecute each other. Then.
So I think the Optimates have a good record of doing minimal prosecutions when we're in census.
So I'm pretty sure that nearly every party except Civibus can have someone be censor. So if the rest of us all make that agreement that we won't prosecute, then I guess that's fine, right?
And like I said, this agreement is on a case-by-case, faction-by-faction basis. You don't all have to unanimously agree. If somebody decides not to, then so be it. But of course,
I'm not going to take the risk and play my cards for someone, benefit of the Republic, for someone to then take me and be prosecuted. I'm not going to do it. So unless everybody agrees, I'm not going to do it.
Well,
okay. We all do it. If we all do it, and others may have concession cards, if we all do it, we may raise 20, 30 talents or something, which is another shift.
So I'll just straight up say that if I'm elected censor again, we at the hand of God, we will not prosecute you for any corruption that goes towards fighting the wars. So that's my public agreement. Right.
And same at the Optimates.
Well, I would like to see if that can be extended to if any such income would be spent on games. Is that
game?
Or that
I believe games help the war effort.
Yeah, so it goes to as long as all the money that's raised goes to the state senate to be used. As long as I don't know whether it's used for games or used to prosecute the war, I'm happy with either. I mean, we were trying to figure out before how to raise money.
Well, if it's games, then you don't have to donate it to the Senate. You can
games affects unrest level. Donations obviously affect the state treasury.
Okay, so all right, let me just
noting that donations are done in the revenue phase, and the sponsoring of games is done during your initiative step.
So you're saying we can't do it now anyway?
No, you can't do it right now, no. But you could certainly make an agreement for that future time, yes.
So all those concessions like Julius's tax farmer card, that's the things we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I will mirror Postumus's comment and say that if I'm also selected or alternatively selected as censor, I will not prosecute anyone who will donate their ill-gotten gains to the war effort, whether it be directly or indirectly through the games.
So, Scribe, I'd like you to make note of this agreement, so it is clear and it can be referred to again, and who agrees to it as well. Okay, good.
Yes.
And we'll put that as a side note in the minutes.
Dolabella?
Yeah, sounds like a good idea to me. I'll go along with that as long as I'll donate mine. I've only got the one, but I'll donate mine as long as I'm not going to get prosecuted.
So I can raise 7, I think, which can run a games, I'm sure, or donate to the treasury. So cost of 7, slice and dice. Can reduce popularity, increase popularity by 1, reduce unrest. So, or I can donate it to the what's name. So
Well, you got 4 coins as well, so you could possibly even go. Oh, no, you can't go up to 13 yet. Oh, you might go up to 13 if you get your earnings as well. Oh, you've got 5. Hang on, you've got 9 coins lying around as well. So
I do need some money for other stuff.
So I'd like you to be very clear, both for the benefit of the scriber, to be very articulate into what the agreement is, okay?
So the agreement is that the 7 talents raised will be used to either raise, donated to the Senate, or used to hold games, thereby reducing unrest or raising field troops, and Furius will not be prosecuted for the action of raising these funds.
So just to reiterate that agreement, it's only for Civibus da Panem to spend money and not be prosecuted. That is the current agreement on the table right now.
So I think what I was hearing, and I'm assuming it's going to be consistent across everyone, is that any money raised from concessions next term will go towards the state treasury or towards reducing unrest. And the people committing to not prosecute from this as we've heard from Hand of God, Tarquinius, and Optimates that should any of their faction be appointed censor, they will not prosecute. I'm assuming Civibus, you're the same?
I can't be censor, can I? I thought someone said.
No, it's only prior consul.
Sorry.
Prior consuls.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, if Julius becomes censor, he's not going to prosecute anyone as long as it's donated to games or the war. And I'll donate my concession to games or the war, whichever we decide to do,
Okay.
All right.
as long as we don't get prosecuted.
All right, it appears to be a unanimous public agreement that everybody who raises money off concessions will put those through to either the state treasury or sponsoring games, whatever their preference. In exchange, anybody who is elected censor will hold no prosecutions going forwards, and that is bindable, bound under law, and that's fair enough. So that's good. Good collaboration, I'd say.
I thought that specifically wasn't bound under law. That we're making this commitment, but we're not actually bound to it.
It is a health directive, like the Victorian state government's doing, right?
That's it.
So it obviously doesn't cover major prosecutions.
No, correct.
Right, is that a valid point you need to talk about in your agreement?
No.
It was fundraising for the benefit of the state, is what we basically agreed on.
Yes.
The other mischievous action, well, roll the dice.
Right, so
Literally.
only major prosecutions are eligible for the censor to consider in the coming year. That's what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so long as everybody's in agreement on that detail.
So major prosecutions, we're prosecuting for what?
So generally major prosecutions occur if you've held an office the previous term. So if we look at your faction, for example, you will not be eligible for a major prosecution, so you might as well agree.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Very good. Well, at this point in time, we've completed that year, and therefore we've completed the assembly. And we've made some good time this evening. It's now just gone 10 p.m.
Wow.
There we go.
Yes.
Well,
So we've saved up all our problems for next round.
Yeah, basically.
Future problems.
And hope we draw better cards.
Yes, hopefully indeed. All right, so at this point in time, unless there's any closing comments?
Yeah, I think this was the equivalent to 2020 in Roman. So, yeah, let's see how we go. I'm really looking forward to next year, actually, to see who survives.
Yeah. Well, yeah, hopefully if you get this manpower shortage taken care of, we'll be right, but...
And no more wars. Big draw.
So does that manpower card, or does that stop at the end of this year?
It does, but that will disappear again. But you just want to hope that the next the next State of the Republic address does a much better job, or it doesn't hit a 7, a 5, or a 3, because they've been your unlucky numbers so far.
Because we've had 2 years now and we've drawn that card twice.
But I think you guys are going to do okay in the next one, because your popularity of your current Rome Consul is 4. And that's 4 more than you've ever had before for a State of the Republic address. That will negate and even be +1 against the current unrest level. And provided you still roll well, you should do much better.
Provided we roll well.
So popular senators can be helpful, but they can also be a threat. Yeah. Good. Well, I guess if there's no other comments at this point in time, all the faction curators, yourselves, are all dismissed from the forum until next Monday, 7:30 p.m., and where we'll recommence with the 3rd assembly. Very exciting. Yeah, certainly looking forward to that. It's very tense. The forum's getting busy now. Lots of events coming into play. Lots of senators there. And lots of decisions to be made going forward. So well done to everybody for completing a 2nd year, and we'll talk more on our forum during the week. So congratulations, well done. See you then.
Thank you. Hopefully, good luck next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warwick, I know you're on Twitch now, aren't you?
I am on Twitch. I am indeed. Yes.
Yes. And are you going to put on YouTube as well?
That is a potential plan. I can. The videos are available on Twitch, and but we might look at making YouTube. Yeah, that's might be a good idea. Potentially. Well,
We'll be able to watch on Twitch, correct?
They are currently available on Twitch, and they can be looked at. Post ones, which I advise for you guys not to go looking at those because I see privileged information from my screen, mostly talking about faction treasuries. So I, if you can, in fact, I strongly advise that you do not go looking for these videos just yet until the game is concluded.
Okay.
But that makes for some good viewing in the future. But all right, you're all dismissed. For those on the Twitch stream right now viewing, we'll take a short break and I'll come back and we'll talk about the sessions that's just gone ahead. We're back after a a very interesting second assembly. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Did the Senate make the right choices there in not prosecuting any of those wars? So we saw that they had some unfortunate enemy hero draws there with Philip V for the Macedonian Wars, and then of course the Second Macedonian War that it matched to, and that's a pretty strong war, looking at 16 strength there. No naval battle required, but that is a tough battle. But then of course the Punic War, the first Punic War there, matched with Hamilcar, which adds +3 for a total land strength of 13. But then of course there's a naval battle required there of 13. The Senate felt paralysed in this particular assembly with that manpower shortage. An unfortunate state of the Republic brought up that manpower shortage, made it very expensive, but they thought that the 40 talent cost of the unprosecuted wars was a much better cost to bear than perhaps some defeats and some major losses. Look, who knows? We'll never know the outcomes of those battles because of the way that they've chosen. Some interesting event draws there. The Refuge with the enemy war leader there, as well as the Storm at Sea. Thankfully, there was no effect with that, and we'll see those wiped, or at least the Storm at Sea event wiped for the next forum, and that manpower shortage will disappear. And as I raised just before we dismissed our senators, Cato the Elder, our current Rome consul, has a great oratory rating, but in particular, he has that +4 popularity, and that will negate the current 3-level unrest level there. So they should do much better in the next popularity phase in the next State of the Republic, a much better outcome, and avoid that manpower shortage. The risk they run now is that they have an unlucky draw in the next set of initiatives, and they will see matching wars, and that will double the strength of those wars. So the Punic War will become a 23 strength war that they will have to fight. But in saying that, though, they've really got that income. They start currently with 208 talents in the state treasury. That will become 308 talents, and then we hear through that very interesting public agreement made in the end there that a lot of the senators with concessions are going to donate funds to the state treasury and plus that up even more. So we're going to see some really, really large armies raised in the next assembly. We're going to see some epic battles. Hopefully we see both a naval battle and a land battle, but it'll really their ultimate decisions will be determined by the draw of the cards to come out in the next initiative phase. So all in all, an interesting outcome. Some senators are really starting to pile on both the influence and the popularity now. Oh, excuse me, I'll take a cup of tea. Very good. We're seeing popularity on senators like our current Rome consul, who's got 4 popularity. He gained that from the land bill proposal, which came through to help reduce that unrest level. And then, of course, Julius from the Reapers Party has also got 4 popularity to add from his previous popularity that he got from a victory against the Second Aurelian War in the First Assembly there. Those senators, I think, will become very handy in the future going forwards, and they may look to those senators for the consul positions to help maintain unrest levels going forwards. But we're nearing that difficult peak that we always see in the early Republic phase of this game. where they will often fight 2 or 3 wars at a time. Will we see a dictator elected in the next couple of years? Who knows? Will their draw be unlucky enough to have to do so? But we will never know until the time comes. But that concludes the second assembly here this evening. It's been great. I've been your game master this evening for this Republic of Rome by Valley Games. I am Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius, Legatus et Prefectus of Nova Roma. Thank you for joining us this evening, and if you're watching this in the future, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching this rather interesting session. Drop a follow if you haven't already, or send us an email to ostnovaroma@outlook.com. That's AUST Novaroma @outlook.com. Until next time, thank you very much. Gratias tibiago. And as they say, goodbye in Latin, which is valete.